now that we got that out of the way, greetings, Pokéfans! Michael here, and in case you haven't been on the internet for the last few days, or you happen to live under a rock and by some miracle have found this video, it's my pleasure to inform you that Ruby and Sapphire are getting remakes that are coming out this November! Yes! I mentioned this briefly in my Twitch Plays Pokemon video, but for those of you who missed it, I love the 3rd gen. Ruby was my first video game ever, so I have quite the nostalgic attachment to it. Look, I even still have my old Ruby. This little piece of plastic and circuitry is possibly older than some of your siblings. I've been wanting Ruby and Sapphire remakes for a while. I remember being kinda pissed when they first announced X and Y without making Ruby and Sapphire remakes back in the 5th gen. However, I realized, oh, hey, this means the remakes are gonna be on the 3DS instead of the DS. So I was happy. Impatient, but happy. And now that they're finally happening, I am beyond stoked. I'll get to start with Trico all over again and play through my favorite region that has some seriously awesome Pokemon in it. I can't wait for the return of the Battle Frontier, Team Aqua and Magma, and of course, the trumpets. I do have some predictions for the games, just from what we've seen so far though. Keep in mind that these are just predictions and there's a high chance that they'll be wrong. But if I am right, I'm gonna rub it in all y'all's faces. Word up. First, I predict that Groudon and Kyogre are getting Mega Evolutions. The box art for the games has the two of them looking very not normal. And I don't see any reason why Nintendo would implement new forms or something like that when they have Mega Evolutions this generation. What's nice about the new modern technology that we have is that the new Megas wouldn't be trapped on those games. Instead, they could just release a software update for X and Y so we can have the new Mega Evolutions on those games too. Second, I think we'll get just more Megas in general. 6th generation had the fewest new Pokemon introduced to date with only 70. If you add in the Megas, that's still less than the 100 Pokemon introduced in Gen 2. So I kinda think Nintendo maybe did that on purpose, planning to release more Mega Evolutions with newer games in the generation. So I think we'll get some, not as many with X and Y, but some new Megas with these games. I think the most likely ones are for Sceptile and Swampert, which would be awesome! Especially since Blaziken, the other HOENN starter, got one already. More Megas, yay! Now this last prediction is a fair amount bolder than the other two, but I'm going to say it anyways because I can. I think they're going to introduce a completely new region with these games, or at least some more extensive post-game. Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald have some of the most limited post-game we've seen in any of the main series games, especially compared to the games that take place in Johto. All you gain access to after the League is the Battle Tower or Frontier. I think they're going to expand on the post-game in these games, creating some completely new areas for us to explore once we beat the League. Why do I think this? Well, first off, in the press release for the games, it states that the new titles promise to take players through a dramatic story in a spectacular new world. New world, huh? HOENN's not exactly new. Now I realize that new world could just mean a newer HOENN, but something's nagging at me that wording is not insignificant. There's also a lot of in-game hints pointing to regions other than HOENN in X and Y. Specifically the Traveler in the Hotels or the strange souvenir item. It's intrigued a lot of people, myself included. I think it's possible that we could see this new region introduced in these games. Lastly, Marriland posted a video a while back saying that it's possible that we could see new regions introduced in Gen 6. The evidence for that was a passage found in the X and Y guidebook that reads, "In addition to the 13 berries that can only be cultivated through mutation, another 14 berries do not appear in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y and can only be obtained by trading them from other regions." Regions. Regions. So like HOENN and something else. Am I reading too much into this? Probably. But would it be freaking awesome if I was right? Yeah. So, those are my thoughts on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm super excited for the games and I'll be sure to post videos updating you guys anytime some new news about them comes out. In the meantime, keep checking back here for more fun Pokemon videos and until next time, gotta catch them all.